Okay, I'm going to show you guys how you can increase your win rate. Most persons are having issues with with this. I know I tell people this that you don't really need to increase your win rate. You don't need win rate is not it in the market. You can actually make more money even without a huge win rate because of the logic, the mathematics of trading. I will do that in maybe subsequent videos. Now, but I see some persons that want to somehow increase their win rate, right? And I'll show you the what they call the mechanics of trading. All right. I will focus on, let's say, I'll focus on entry on this particular because there are three things in when it comes to the mechanics. There are three things. The first one is entry. How you enter a trade will decide, or where you enter a trade will decide your win rate, obviously. And it's also connected to stop loss placement, right? I'll just put SL, stop loss uh, placement. The third one is target. Now, these things, they are linked together. So if you want to have more win rates, you are going to work on your entry, stop loss, and target. Okay? It doesn't depend on your strategy. It's not about changing strategy. People think that I need to change my strategy. I need to, they come up with all of these, um, all of these excuses because they want to have more win rates. You can actually have that strategy that you are using right now, and you still have a very high win rate. So today, I'm just going to focus on entry. I'm just going to focus on entry for now. So, how do you increase your win rate? Okay. Now, there are three different criterias for entry. The first one we have is called the early entry. The second one is we have sorry this so we have the entry. Second one we have the price confirmation entry. Okay. Third one we have the pullback entry. Okay. So these are the entries that we have in the financial markets. So these are the entries that we have. Now, how does this early entry work? Now, the early entry is just like this. So let's say now uh you have the market doing this. All right, you're looking for a sell. Okay. So now immediately price comes to this level here, this supply zone here. You're looking to sell immediately. So your stop loss will be here. So let's say this is the zone here. So to this supply zone here, you're looking at making a short entry immediately. Immediately price gets there, you're looking to short the markets immediately on that zone. And maybe you could target here, and that gave you a 1:3. Okay. Now this is early entry. Now, what are the consequences of early entry? Now, the thing is, you're going to have a very, very small stop loss. All right. Because this give you a 1:5. I zoom this very, very well. Yeah, this give you a 1:5. Now, so you have a small entry. Another thing is that you have the potential for the largest profit, right? Because you're making an early entry. Another one is that you have the lowest win rate because price can do this. If you look closely, you could discover that this is uh, equal highs. So this could be liquidity, right? This could be liquidity. So what price is going to do is that price can push and stop you out, right? And once it stops you out, then it starts going to your direction. So this is what they call the Wyckoff theory, where market is in a range, and then before market pushes down or pushes up, it takes orders sitting around here. All these orders sitting around here. Come on. All these orders sitting around here. Right? And then once it picks all these orders, then it starts going down. Let me show you that you can see that's right here. You can see this support zone. So markets takes out this zone or takes out this liquidity here, all the others sitting around here, and then starts rallying up. Same thing here, takes out these orders sitting above these highs and lows, and then starts rallying up. Now, if you want to learn about liquidity, I did a video talking about liquidity the market. So go watch that video. Okay. Now, this is the consequences of using early entry. Now, the second one is price confirmation. Now, you just know for a fact that early entries will not improve our win rate. So let's look at price confirmation. Okay. So now you have that same thing. You have that same thing. But now price gets to that zone. Well, guess what? Price started making lower lows. Okay. So price confirmation is like this. So you have this right here. This is your supply zone. Now, immediately price rejected from that zone. That's where you enter. You enter here. You enter here. Stop loss below the zone. Then you target here, right? The less draw on liquidity. Okay. So what are the consequences of this entry criteria? The consequences is that you have a slightly smaller potential of profits, right? Because you are entering when market has rejected that zone. So somebody that entered early, if you watch, if I entered early here, you can see my my risk to reward is 5. But if I entered on that rejection here, my risk to reward is now 2. Okay, so you have what a higher win rate. So now this price confirmation is, to me, if you're looking for to have a high win rate, this is the one I would recommend. Right? Right? You wait for price to move to your direction, and then you place what your trade and then stop loss below this level. So this is one entry criteria, and I've given you the pros and cons. Now the next one is the pullback entry. So the pullback essentially is this: you would wait for the market to make a 50% retracement. So this is where you're going to enter. You enter here. So let's say stop loss is around here. You're not targeting here. So you enter here, stop loss above the pullback. Okay. So immediately price came to this supply zone here, made this rejection from here, and then starts rallying. Starts declining. You wait for the market to make a pullback. And once market makes a pullback and then rejects, after it starts going down, that's when you make your entry. So what are the consequences of this one, or what are the pros of this one? Now, the thing is, you have a smaller stop loss placement, similar to the early entry in a way, but you have the highest winning percentage. Yes, there are sometimes markets will not make a pullback. A market will just rally and let us or rally or decline and leave you behind. It happens. What's going on? Right. So that sometimes uh markets will not make this pullback. It happens. Right. But rarely would markets make this. Rarely will we see market do this. The market is going up like this, does this, and then comes down like this. Markets will always do or have that pullback mostly. But sometimes, yes, you're going to miss a lot of trades. But this is the highest win rate potential. So you wait for a pullback. But the problem is that people don't really wait for a pullback. It's because what they taught them in trading is that once market gets to that zone, place your entry, make it quicker. Some persons even enter with limit orders, right? So uh once market before market gets there, you just place a limit order there. Like they place a limit order here, there's stop loss. So once market just comes there, it just fills them in and then starts moving in the direction. Right. So you don't wait for pullback. But the problem about that is that you need extra confirmation to prove to you that market is going to reverse once it gets to that, your where you placed your limit orders. Okay. But the one I see professional traders use is a pullback entry. This particular one here, the pullback entry. So this is the one I recommend if you want to trade professionally, if you want to increase your win rate. So this is the highest. But the one lower than that is price confirmation. So this one has a high win rate. This one has the highest win rate. Now this one, your win rate is going to drop. And this is just based on entry. We're also going to talk about stop loss placement, maybe in subsequent videos, because your stop loss, how you place a stop loss, is also very, 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 very important. Because some persons might even have a pullback entry, but the stop loss could be very, 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 very tight. Yes, it's going to give them a high risk to reward. You can see this one is like 7-1. But if care is not taken, they can be stopped out. If care is not taken, they can be stopped out on this particular trade. There's also the target as well. Also look at target. Like I mentioned here, we have entry, stop loss placement, target. Now, this is what you need to know in the financial market. Learning all of these concepts and moving from one guru to another guru, trying to learn this strategy. Just stick to one strategy and learn how trading works. Learn the trading mechanics. Once you learn the statistics or the probability of every decision that you are making, you have confidence. You will know, okay, if I'm making an early entry, I know if I'm making an early entry, I'm most likely going to get stopped out. There's more of like a 50% chance I'm going to lose this, right? Or maybe a 40% chance. You are trading probabilities and you are managing risk. So you need to understand the probability of placing a trade. You also need to understand probability of your target potential, all of these things. So all of these things are the logic or the mathematics or the mechanics of trading. Now you need to learn these things. It's not about learning different strategy, breakout block, fair value gaps. All of these things are the same thing. There's no difference. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything in the financial market, they're just barely saying the same thing. You understand me? So if you want to increase your win rate, you need to what? You need to look at the price confirmation or the pullback entry. You also need to look at the stop loss placement or the target. I'm going to do a video talking about that. So you can have the highest win rate. If win rate is all you care about. And if you are interested in becoming a student, I run a mentorship program right, where I teach my students how to trade the financial market. So if you're interested, you can join us. I'll teach you how to properly trade. I don't teach you holy grail strategies. No, I've spent years in this trading space to understand that there's no holy grail strategy. You just need to understand how trading works. This is probability. And I'm getting this information. This information I'm giving to you was gotten from mentors that have been in the game for a long period of time, and they know how trading works, they know how the market moves, they know how to place an order, right? So that's just it. I'll see you guys in the next video.